Right. So now let's talk about heat pumps. Now, we are not a big company dealing with heat pumps in a large scales, but we do get involved with heat pumps. And for us to be safe, we start to work at the very small numbers, a few in a year, like 4 or 5 in a year. And why we choose to do that? Because it's a completely new systems. Some people say if you know how to plumb a boiler, you know how to plumb a heat pump. That's completely correct. The only thing is, to plumb in a boiler, you just copy what was before there. A heat pump does not work the same like a boiler. And I'm not here now to keep you lesson, how to design system. But what I will say, from my experience, is to go and train yourself. Ourselves, we are in the process to get accredited with the MCS now. We do have BPEC level 3 in heat pumps, which technically allows us to heat pump. But we are doing trainings now how to design a system, because heat pumps, I'm talking now for customers and for people who want to get to heat pumps, is a very different system because we use a very low temperature compared with a normal gas boiler. So I will say to you as a plumber thinking to go into this, or heating engineer, get training. There are trainings out there, heat gigs, very good one, very difficult one, but will teach you a very, very, very in-depth how to design system, how it works, low temperature and all that stuff is a very important stuff. And I'll tell you why. You as an installer, if you don't know how to do the system correctly, you'll put yourself in a big mess. If not, the idea is to save some money as a customer, having a heat pump, reduce your gas bills and everything. But guess what? You can have actually a heat pump installed and to be more expensive than a gas boiler by running, just because it's not designed correctly. So I will say, as a small business, go get trainings, and not just the entry levels, BPEC level 3, there you go. You learn, you know how to install a pump. No, you need to do specific hydraulic, low-level temperature courses to understand how to design a system. You'll came across, especially on the retrofit market, where different houses, different heat losses, how would you install a heat pump there if you don't understand how you design a system? So the very first thing I did when this proposal came to me, to be honest, this builder, they have to build these 4 new houses with the heat pumps. So, okay, first I need to get myself trained. I need to understand how it works. So I did choose the specific manufacturer. I think it was a Mitsubishi. Go to their training, understand how the product works, how to design, and obviously keep learning. This is a process which will never end, to be honest. And then on the other side, the consumer, how to choose the right person to install your heat pump. Now, that's a big question, because we have out there big companies, I won't name them here, I don't want to make publicity, but there are companies out there which they install heat pumps for so cheap. Now, the only thing is, they did told you that heat pump installation will cost you X. They never told you that you'll save that much. They never told you that their scope will be, I don't know, 400-500%. They did not say that. They just told you we'll install a heat pump for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 grand, and this is what you get. It's very important, especially if your idea is to get in a heat pump rather than having a gas boiler, to be a bit more greener, which is not a bad thing at all, and obviously to save some money on your gas bill. You have to make sure that you actually choose a company who is capable to design your system correctly and to provide the right product for your property. There are different products out there. They kind of do the same, but they do make a huge difference in what environment you install them. So it is a lot of research for you, actually, guys, to do. And I literally can point you out towards Heat Gigs. If you follow this guy's channel, has a lot of video about consumers choosing the right installers. It's a bit more difficult than finding a gas installer. Installing your boiler is a completely different game. But if you rely just to be cheap, unfortunately, it will be cheap actually for the installation, will be very expensive for running. There are so many stories out there. Again, I won't name the big companies, but they went for cheap installation, and actually they pay more in the electricity now they ever paid on the gas bills. So it's very important to do your homework, the due diligence, read, educate yourself as a consumer, and then for the other side, the installers, the same thing for you. You need to educate yourself to be able to provide the right service, right products to your customers. So there are a lot of myths out there, including in the gas boiler industry, that you can save up to £800-900. There's certain situation where yes, you'll be able to save a huge amount of money. There'll be up and down, obviously, but you have to think it simply. So what actually we're doing with a gas boiler or the heat pump is we replace a heat lost in your property. So your materials, fabric in the house is losing heat. This is the way how it was, through your windows, through your roof, cavity walls and all that stuff. So your heat source, either is a gas boiler or a heat pump, will replace that heat. So first and foremost is, what's the point for you to go to install a heat pump if your double glazed windows, they are updated, draft and all that stuff. So it's very important for you to understand, if you want to save some money, your property has to be correctly isolated. Correctly isolated, that means, you have your loft insulation correctly, your cavity walls, your double glazing windows as well to be correctly. Very, very, very important. And then the environment impact about heat pump, definitely they're better than the gas boilers. I mean, it's not a new thing. It's just the amount of CO we release through the gas boilers is quite scary, and it's a good thing that as a country, we work towards achieving this net zero. It's not a bad thing, but again, just for the sake of getting there, but having a wrong installation, is not working correctly. So definitely, a heat pump. I myself am looking to replace my existing gas boiler in my house, probably because it's the right time now, because we do some changing in the house, and anyway, we'll have to spend some money. So definitely worth, but again, you have to do your homework.